Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Pond Bass Master. Today I'm going to be talking all about drop shotting. One of the best techniques to use, especially during the summer. It's late summer now. Really great time to be throwing the drop shot around, especially in deep water. So basically, today I'm going to show you guys how to use the drop shot, how to rig it, what to throw it on, what kind of rod, all that good stuff. So first, let's actually show you the drop shot rig itself. So essentially, the background is it was made by a group of Japanese anglers, they usually fish really high pressured lakes. They were trying to find new rigs to use at those high pressured lakes. So basically, what you have is this is called a standout drop shot hook. Got it in Lucky Tackle Box. Bought more because they're so awesome. I'm pretty sure you can get them at Bass Pro. But basically, they are a hook specifically made for drop shotting. So that first little loop you're going to see right there is where you tie your knot. Then you put your tag end and that little loop right there. So basically, what they invented is a hook that is always horizontal on your line, which is what you want in a drop shot. Then at the end, you just tie your little weight on. I use the drop shot weights too. This is just what I found and tied on. So basically, if you don't have these fancy drop shot hooks that I like to use, I recommend you go buy them. But if you don't, you can use any finesse hook. Really, you could really use any hook you want. I sometimes use the little catfish hooks just because I think they have a better hookup ratio because the hook is kind of bent out and around. But it's just up to you basically. But same thing, tie a Palomar knot to the regular eye if you have a regular hook. Feed the tag end back through, and I like to use usually about a 10 to 12 inch leader, just because I usually fish ponds and they're not that deep. But basically that's the drop shot rig. And another rig that's basically the drop shot rig, it's called a power shot rig. And what it is basically is instead of using a small finesse hook, you're using a EWG. It's great for summer. I love throwing that rig. Basically, it's just made for bigger plastics, like bigger trick worms, that kind of thing. So you do the same thing just with an EWG, and it's basically the same concept. But yeah, there's your typical drop shot rig. So what you want to do when throwing what kind of rod and reel and line, I'm going to obviously throw it on a spinning reel. Really finesse. And this is a Shakespeare Crusader rod, really cheap. I got it at a fishing derby, but basically, it's this is a 6-foot medium. I would recommend like a 7-foot medium action fast tip spinning rod. This is just what I have. Really nice. I like the cork grip on it, but this isn't a review on the rod, so I just wanted to point that out. Reel is not very good. I need to get a new one. I plan on getting the Ardent finesse reel. Really great reel for the money. You guys should really, if you're looking for a new spinning reel for drop shotting or shaky heads or anything like that, I really would recommend the Ardent finesse reel. It really looks slick. Basically, you just want it on any spinning reel. Spinning rod will work for you. Even if you have like a little, I'm not going to pull it out, but yeah, I'll pull it out. Like a little pond fishing rod that's like 5'6" or something. Anything will work for drop shotting. Line I like to use, I like 8-pound mono personally. It's cheap, it's easy to use, and that's just what I like to use. But another thing I'll use sometimes is like 12-pound braid, 12 or 15-pound braid with like a 10 to 12-pound floral leader. Usually an extremely long leader, around 6 to 8 foot. Just because it is a finesse presentation, and you really do want that extra long leader so that those fish don't see the braid. Now let's talk about drop shot baits. I have my top 7, I think. Yeah, top 7 here laid out. So I'll show them to you, not in any order, just kind of what they are. So a lot of the fish around my ponds around here, their main forage is crawfish. And a really great presentation that's finesse that you can put on a drop shot. This is a Maniac Custom Lures Cutter Bug You just split the tail apart. It's only 3.5 inches. It's also a great jig trailer, but is also a good drop shot rig. Just nose hook it. Really great finesse crawfish presentations. The next one is gonna be a Lunker Hunt. I forget the name. It's basically their drop shot minnow. It's by the Lunker Hunt. I think this is in clown color, but again, you just nose hook it. Kind of looks like a little fluke. Really cool bait there. Another one, this is the classic. If you guys are really just looking for your first drop shot bait, this is what I would get. It's a Robo Worm. I believe it's a 4.5 inch straight tail worm. This is the Hot Tip green pumpkin blue color. Here, let me get it to focus. Really neat. Got a blue tip on there. Just a Robo Worm. They're everywhere. You can find them pretty easily. Really good drop shot worm. Another good one is the Biospun Plasma Tail. I've heard good things about those. Another thing, this really works for all species. I've caught crappie, I've caught bluegill on this, which is a drop-shotted grub. This is just like a little generic Mr. Twister grub. But you can actually nose hook these. You have to work it a little more than a regular like straight tail worm drop shot, but it also works really well. Similar to the grub, you catch all sorts of fish on this as well. This is a little Berkeley power worm. Little tail on there. Really small. Once again, really good worm for drop shot. It's also the same size as my Robo Worm, just laying it out here. So it's about 4.5 inches, but it has that little curly tail on the end. Really good drop shot bait as well. Another good one is the Zoom Fluke, not the Super Fluke, the Fluke. Really similar to the Lunker Hunt one. Just has that really good tail action, as you can see. Really cool little. So this is the Fluke, so it doesn't have the little belly slot. It's more for a drop shot than a Texas rig compared to the Super Fluke. Now, one of my favorite, I've been using a lot this summer, Excite Bait Slim X. It's a really good worm. So like for instance, the Robo Worms, they float really well, everyone knows. Same thing with the Plasma Tails, but these float extremely well. I'm thinking about doing a tank test with them. They float really well. Basically, it's a just your typical Zoom trick worm, but it's a little smaller in profile. So I like using it for drop shots. And this is in the green pumpkin color. Another great drop shot bait if you're looking to start into drop shotting. I'd recommend that as well. I think some of you guys may think that, oh, you're just talking about your sponsors because you're sponsored by them. I would not be sponsored by them if I didn't like their products, and that's why I'm sponsored by them, because I think they're the best soft plastics out there. So those are really great, especially Excite Bait's plastic floats really well. Obviously, like, not quite as well as Z-Man, because it has like the elastic stuff in it, but it's really close, and it floats really well because they don't have any salt, and their plastic is really buoyant. Alright, so now these are some of, I also put that on a power shot, the Slim X, I also put it on a power shot. These are two of the best power shot baits for big fish. First one is a Zoom Trick Worm. I'm not going to show it up close. You guys have all seen a trick worm. Very similar to the Slim X. Just I don't think it floats as well. Slim X's are really cheap. They come in a pack of 20 for like $5. But I've seen multiple things such as, if you guys know what the Lure Tour is, this guy did it. I'm not sure how many subscribers he has or anything. but he did a tank test on them, and he took 5 trick worms, and only like 2 of them floated well compared to the other ones. The other ones like barely floated. But the next bait I want to show you guys is this thing does it all. The 10-inch or 7-inch raptor tail worm by Excite Baits. It's just wonderful worm. It's like the best Carolina rig worm I've ever used, just because it floats so well. This is the 10-inch version. Caught some really nice fish on this. I'll show you guys. Hopefully you guys all know. Excite Baits has the little lobe on the end, so it gives it a really good thump in the water. And then once again, it's a very big worm. Great on a power shot. Great on a Carolina rig. Just a wonderful worm. So that's all the baits, drop shots, everything you need to know about drop shots. Really great technique for deep fishing. If you have a boat, it's a great way. If you scan over and you see like a drop off or grass or something, just drop that drop shot down. The leader size is all depending on like your situation. For instance, ponds, I always use a 10 to 12 inch leader just because they're usually pretty shallow. But like lakes, like if there's grass 2 feet off the bottom, then use like a 3 foot leader if the fish are suspended above the grass. So like I said, just use it towards your situation. If you guys want to get some of the Excite Baits drop shot baits that I showed you today, I'll put the link in the description. And anyways guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.